Hey you guys, so welcome back to part 3 of Faith Talk. This is going to be a part 2 to God Will Reroute You. This story is a little bit different from the first one because this one I wasn't really, following the voice of God. I was kind of doing my own thing, contrary to the first one that I did. So this one might be a little bit more interesting, hopefully. So if you can remember last time, I was talking about getting into my university job after leaving the toxic job at corporate America. And basically this story takes place during the pandemic. This was about maybe 2021, middle of 2021. I had started grad school in the beginning of 2020 and literally 2 months before the pandemic hit. So I did most of my program online, which is really convenient for me. God really blessed me in that way. But what was happening during the pandemic was, like a lot of people, I was kind of drifting away from God in certain ways, but also getting closer to God, which is kind of interesting. But one thing was, I was kind of not really discerning the voice of God like I should have been during the pandemic. I kind of was, just doing my own thing and getting carried away with my own passions and my own interests. And one of these things was, even though I prayed so hard to get this job that I was currently in, I was getting kind of tired of it. I felt like I needed to go do something else. I felt like, I wasn't, getting everything that I was from that job. And so I thought it was time for something new. And I remember kind of, talking to other people at my current job who weren't the happiest, and, they were encouraging me to, leave that job because they weren't happy. So they were telling me to leave too, which is another thing that you have to be careful about, because some people aren't happy, where you are, and they could be jealous of you and telling you to leave your job, and unfortunately, I agreed with that. But during this time, before I even get to, leaving the job, halfway through the pandemic, I was kind of getting into, screenwriting and wanting to learn more about writing films and movies. And somehow I stumbled upon this company or organization that brings communities of writers together online, and in terms of trading ideas and networking, they offered people opportunities to connect with Hollywood execs and to pitch ideas. And so I kind of became like a volunteer and a member of that community for many months, and I really enjoyed it. I met a lot of interesting people. I learned a lot more about like the film industry and how to write scripts, which I had never done before. And so I found community, which was really essential right during COVID when we couldn't leave our houses. I found community where I really connected with people, and I felt like I really needed that at that time. And let's say, I think I joined that community maybe October of 2020, and I think maybe February 2021, I got a dream. And in that dream, the people at this company, at this organization, had offered me a job. And at this point, like, I always, not always, but sometimes I would get dreams of things that would happen before, that would happen before, they would happen in real life. Things would come to me, and then I would see them happen maybe days, weeks, or months later. But I just assume maybe, hey, like this is something that God is telling me that's going to happen in the future. I didn't really pray about it. I just kind of was just like, okay, cool, like maybe this is going to happen. And I kind of just left it alone. And as, the year continued to unfold, I was about to graduate, right, from my business entrepreneurship degree from grad school in June. And so I remember I was like fasting, praying, like every month I would fast and pray for a few days. And I was kind of just praying for God to get me out of this job, get me out of this job. I'm not happy anymore. And I remember in May, all of a sudden, one of the directors of that organization reached out to me and asked to connect with me. And I remember we were talking, and you know, she was saying how they were looking to hire somebody for this role, and you know, they saw my work in the community and my volunteer work, and how I was so good with connecting with people and helping people navigate the online platform. And they recognized that I had a lot of administrative skills, and that's what they were looking for at the time. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that I was being baited, and and so because I was, you know, so excited, I really didn't know, I couldn't see through it. And so actually at this time, interestingly enough, as the school year was winding down, as I was about to finish grad school, as I kind of was interviewing for this, you know, company that I got into, I also was being offered a promotion at my current job, and it offered a little bit more money, and I felt kind of slighted. I didn't know if I should take the promotion at my current job, or if I should just leave this company or go into this new company and take this creative job, because honestly, I didn't really want to do administrative work. I wanted to go into the creative industry. I'm a creative, that's my passion. So obviously it would seem like the right choice would just be to go into that industry, right? And I didn't know what to do, and so I was sharing my thoughts with my family, my coworkers. You know, obviously people in your job are just going to tell you to leave because, you know, they don't like it there, so they're not going to encourage you to stay. But I wasn't, you know, I wasn't really asking God. Like I kind of was saying like, hey God, what should I do? But honestly, I was just listening to other people more than God, and to my own thoughts more than God. And I ended up, you know, quitting my job, and I accepted the offer from the company, and I basically turned down the promotion. And the crazy thing is, the promotion that they were offering me at my company was actually paying me more than what the company was paying me, which obviously makes me sound really stupid. But you know, at the time, like I didn't care. I just wanted to switch fields. And I remember, you know, putting in my resignation at the current university job, and you know, people were so sad. My boss was really emotional, and people were really devastated to see me go. And I remember after I made that decision, like something in me kind of just felt like something was off. Like I wasn't sure if I made the right decision. And when I started this new job, immediately so many red flags were popping up, and things just weren't going well. The supervisor who interviewed me, not the first person, but you know, as I was interviewing for this new company, of course, like during the interview, he was really nice, but then as soon as we started training, things were very different. He was very rude and condescending.